G'day guys, welcome back to video number 4 in the Basis Markets educational video series. So we've gone along to the point where we're about to execute a basis trade. Just before we start, obviously this is not financial advice. Please do your own research and make sure that you are familiar before you take any decisions that pertain to risking your hard-earned money. So if you remember from the previous video, video number 3, we were looking at Thorchain or Rune as our basis trade. Well, it was actually a reverse basis trade. The trade engine now, 24 hours later, is not really showing that as a viable option to trade because the APR is just very, very low now. And that shows the dynamic that can shift so quickly. So you have to be on top of this and watch for those APRs to shift, the funding rates to shift. So what we'll do now is we will find a new trade, we'll find a basis trade and execute right now in real time. The first trade that I'm looking at executing is GRT on FTX. So we're looking at a basis trade. So this is a traditional basis trade where you've got the spot price trading below the perpetual price. So the perpetual futures contract is trading at a premium to the spot price. And now we're going to look to take advantage of that positive funding rate that exists when the spot is trading below the perpetual contract. So with our initial $10,000, I've funded my FTX account. We're going to go 2x leverage. We're going to go $20,000 in a long position in the spot market, and that'll just give us that delta neutral status for when we go short $20,000 worth of GRT on the perpetual. We get a leveraged APR of 44.38%, and we get a leveraged APY of 49.76%. Okay, so here we are on the GRT perp page. So this is the perpetual contract. And you can see up in the top here, the predicted funding rate is paying a positive rate. So that means we're going to be collecting anything when we short. So that positive funding rate is going to be paying us to be short. So I've got $10,000 in collateral. I'm going to go 2x leverage. I'm going to short the perp and then buy the spot. That will give me delta neutral status and we'll be collecting the yield that exists on the perpetual contract. So what I'm going to do is set my offers on the perpetual and set my bids on the spot product. And then hopefully we can get filled at an efficient price that keeps us delta neutral whilst minimizing slippage on our entry. This is the account on FTX that I am making these positions from. I've now been filled, but what I want to show you is the deposit history and the withdrawal history. So total new account. The other day I deposited $10,000 into this account and I haven't withdrawn any money or done anything with that $10,000. So what you see is 0 withdrawals and just that $10,000 US dollar deposit. Okay, so now that we've been filled on our short GRT perpetual and we've been filled on the spot product, let's have a look at those fills and how I got filled in those. Okay, so here is my order history, what's been filled. GRT USD is the spot product, so that was filled at an average price of around 0.45350. And then we've got the GRT perpetual contract, so that was filled at around 0.455. So that's pretty good. That's good that we've got filled higher on the short and we've got filled lower on the spot product. So we bought lower, we sold higher. So there's a little bit of a gap there that we've taken advantage of, and that's why you see that $65 bonus, I guess you want to call it, that exists on the short position between the level that we got in on the spot and the level that we got in on the perp. And now that's ideal, but it doesn't always work out that way. But that's just managing your entry. Okay, so now going over to the chart, you can see the GRT perpetual contract I've shorted in the same size that I have longed the spot product. So 44,124 GRT tokens short on the perpetual contract. I'm taking advantage of the positive funding rate on this contract. And then if we check my wallet, the GRT token here, we've got 44,125. So there's one token difference, but that's not significant at all. It's about 40 cents difference. So that's where we are currently sitting. So we've got a negative balance in USDC, but that is because we've gone long on margin in the spot contract. So we borrowed USDC to get long in the spot contract. So that balances out our short position. So overall, delta neutral and we are taking advantage of that positive funding rate that exists on the perpetual contract. So I'm price agnostic. I don't really care about the direction that it travels now. All I care about is the APR stability. So if that APR can remain stable and it keeps printing me that yield each hour, I'm happy. So that's all I need to monitor now and ensure that that positive funding rate remains, and I'll continue to get paid each hour. All right, so here we are. It's been about an hour since we've entered the trade and we've received our first funding payment. So you can see here, if we navigate to the tab over here on FTX, go to trade history, and you can see that under funding payments, we've got GRT perp, and it's paid us 32 cents, 31 cents for the hour. And that's a negative balance. So that means that we're getting paid that funding. And that's all there is to it. So I hope you found this insightful, and stay tuned for the next Basis Trade Engine educational video number 5.